it's just women are more efficient, I think, actually. I'm not putting down the men, so men, calm down. They're the people that are going to create. And NASC should be at the forefront of that. The marketing of himself and the company is brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's doing it the right way. But I think it's the central body, the National Association of Scaffolders, need to highlight it more and bring it out into the open more. And then the government has to listen.
So obviously you've got a daughter, you're bringing women into construction, you've got several women working for you, Germany, UK, etc.
Yeah.
How does that work, and is it hard to get women into your business?
Yeah, it is, because how do I put it? It is hard to get women in construction because it's a male-dominated world, and it still is, has been for years. But what I find is the women in construction are bloody good at their job, and it makes a difference. They can talk to people different to a man. Obviously, some go, "Oh, she's nice," or whatever like that, and just try and get the chat. But it's like they just change the way for getting money in and stuff like that. So obviously, well, not many people know, my wife is the accounts director of Browne's, 18 years down the line, and bloody good at her job. And then you got Chloe, who is my troubleshooter, which is bloody good at her job. She sorts out loads of stuff. You got Zena in Germany, is just sorts out everything to do with the German company, or working alongside Aidan, and really good at her job. You've seen her on some of the videos on LinkedIn and stuff like that, and on your show. She's just good. She's learning the trade, and incredible. She goes to meetings for Leia. She works for the German company, basically. She talks to Carolyn, the owner of Leia, who is bloody good at her job. Nicest person you could ever meet. And the MD of Leia. The women are different. You've got Lenka in my office as a QS. Didn't know nothing about scaffolding. But she's done a 5-year degree. Makes a difference. Not 2 years, not part, 5 years. Fully trained QS and really good at her job. And knows how to talk to people and give people respect. And then you get respect back yourself. It's just women are more efficient, I think, actually. I'm not putting down the men, so men, calm down. I'm just saying, like, it makes the office a different place. Even when you're on Teams calls and things like that, the attitude changes, and obviously there's no swearing and stuff like that, but the attitude changes from one meeting to the next. If it's all blokes, you're having a laugh and doing this, doing that, but the women get the stuff done and straight to the point, especially if they're from a European country, because the women are direct from the European countries. You take a German, Zena's emails, and this is a world of fact of German emails. We've sent a paragraph of 2 lines. They will send a book. They will give you absolutely every part of information you require, even if you didn't ask for it. But it gets the job done. And I love it. As a company, it's interesting because you get different attitudes, different points of view. We go home at night and talk to our wives, and we get their point of view. But at work, their point of view is spread across men and women all the time. But we're the husbands. How can I say it? We just listen. And it's different at work. They argue with you, and we argue with them, but in a nice way. And it's just perfect. It's a great solution. And I wish there was more. It's only at the moment, it's office staff, Chloe's got a part 1 layer ticket from her events we do and stuff like that. She's got her supervisors. She knows how to organise transport. She knows how to do everything. She runs our transport on here with a rod of iron, and she's bloody good at her job. But then, and she knows how to say it to the men. Seem to listen to her more than a bloke does. It's really weird. I don't get it. We go home and we listen to the wife, but then walk out and say, right, it's pub time. But it's different at work. I love it. And the attitudes, like Lincoln's just organised an axe throwing night. You know what I mean? So
team bonding.
Nice. Yeah, it's team building. But that's them doing that.
So you're a scaffolder. So you're running a scaffold business. They're women that are coming into your business. Do you find it hard to explain scaffolding to them, or is it you've got to, because they're not scaffolders? Do you know what I mean? So like it makes sense to us, might not make sense to other people. So how do you find that?
If you know numbers and you can do a spreadsheet and you give them the actual meterage rates, the facts, or how to build the job. So what I do is take them on sites and show them the scaffold. Like Lenka goes out to Germany every now and again around the sites. So when she's looking at, we give her all the measurements, but if you don't show that person, they never get the price right. But she's eager to learn. She comes from a construction background, but Zena, going to Germany, didn't know nothing about scaffolding at all. But best place to meet her in the wine bar area. Why wouldn't you meet the young lady in the wine bar and give her a job? She was just finishing her degree, help these people along the way. So we don't just do it in England, we do it in Germany and help the people create work and give them a life. So that's about trust as well. But yeah, no, like Zena, she does the office management stuff, but she goes on sites, she does the videos, and she goes and meets Leia. That's the only way. She's been to the Leia factory.
Yeah.
And learned all about Leia, how they build it and how they erect it. Yeah. So when she does the quotes and things like that, she knows how to do it. But where the women are quite effective at their jobs, they will just produce a good work ethic and a different atmosphere. Some men don't like it because they're they're a bit, what's the word?
Misogynistic.
Yeah, and they don't like working with women because they think, why should you be in this world? But that's wrong. That's like 60 years ago. So it's for the future, it's 10 times better. Go to Francesca Fuser, Caroline, the owner of that. I went to Plosio factory. There's so many women in work in Plosio, and they're all incredible at their jobs. And they're learning and learning and learning. They end up taking over that place. You look at Nero's daughter, she'll end up running that company. But she was taught to start at the bottom and work her way through. So there's so many. You look at the woman who runs, the SIAA, American Association.
Christina?
Yeah. She knows about scaffolding. She's direct. I've met her. We met her in Balmer, didn't we?
Yeah.
What a great show that was.
Well, yeah.
As much as we remember.
No, it's the best show on earth for construction. I'm not sure it's the best show for scaffolding because, you get sidetracked with the lorries and everything. But
yeah, that's right. But that makes the whole industry fantastic, doesn't it? Remember when we see the Lieberman cranes? Oh, my God. There must have been 30 cranes set up. Must have cost them a few million just to advertise. Incredible place. And you look how many women were there.
Yeah.
And they all knew about every single machine. So women create good salespeople because obviously sometimes it's the way they look and sometimes it's the way they chat. So we're down to earth. We've been married 30 years ourselves and we're like, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? We don't care. But other men take it the wrong way. But it's just fun. And the atmosphere changes. It's Yeah, that's how you build a company, by employing different people who can learn different things. I've had people work for me, and it's been a nightmare. But then other times it's been brilliant. But to build a firm, you need to put trust in people, but they need to trust in the owner of the company as well. Nowadays, I can actually not be here to a certain degree because I trust the people that I employ, and they get on with it. Yeah. That's the difference. But
it's your vision. They're implementing your vision with systems, etc.
Especially with a company in Germany. I'm not there all the time. I'm only a week, a month out there. So, and I'm there to go and do the meetings and SLTs and stuff like that. It's and win work, but but you have to trust people. And with Zena there, Lenka here, Chloe here, Lorraine here, you can move around. As the bigger firms now, they've all got women running their companies. Well, second up or whatever. Look at what's the name of DR Scaffold? Is it Lydia? Yeah, she's up there doing the marketing, doing whatever, but
on the committee with us, she chairs our committee
and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you're like, she does a great job, but she must be busy all the time because she's doing other stuff all the time. But great leaders, great in the accounts offices, in all scaffold firms. There's a great lady chasing money. Always employed a woman chasing money. They don't care what they say, and that's a good thing. It's just brilliant. What is it? There used to be two twins on trad. I can't remember their names. Nice girls, but bloody ferocious. You wouldn't want to mess with them, but they were really good. I think they were surveyors. I think one's on Millcroft now, and they were really good at their job. And but that's how it should work. I expect GKR have got loads of women in their offices. And what was it? Helen on there used to do the marketing.
Yeah,
she, you know, she was good at her job. I don't think she works there now, Al, does she?
No.
So she's moved on, but cracking on with her job, and she does well, whatever she does. Chloe in my office, her cousin, is does I don't know, well-being in Switzerland. Runs a very successful company there in all the sectors of German businesses and Swiss businesses, and they're the people that are going to go back to Thatcher. We can't say too much, but great leader in whatever way you could say. The miners didn't think that, but say hey ho.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's loads, but women in construction, women in scaffolding, fantastic. I wish there was more that would actually do the scaffolding, especially in the system, because there's a different work ethic. They have got something to prove as well. So it's, but there was one driver. I worked for Mac years and years ago, and the driver used to muck in with the lads and then get the lorry loaded because she was part of the team. So, and she didn't moan about anything. So there's always been the odd girl involved, but there's not enough. There's not enough these days. System scaffold's easy, isn't it? So it's, you've got hoists, you've got everything. It's not, you've got lightweight scaffold, you've got aluminium scaffold. So it's an easy career for a woman. They can earn fantastic money and they're not paid less because they're a woman, which is not right. You know what I mean? That's unfair and unjust. But
scaffolder's a scaffolder, regardless if they're a man or a woman. If they're, if you're paying to the card or the whatever, that person gets paid the same as a man. I think that's something that, again, it's a positive for scaffolding that we don't advertise the fact that it's not like a traditional. A lot of women in companies get paid less than men. But if you're a scaffolder, you get paid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't mean they might be very technical. And as a supervisor, you have got health and safety women, which are brilliant. I was in a meeting the other day, and I was so pleased that this person had come back to a company because she was fantastic at her job. She left, and then somebody else left the company who was working for them, which was a man, but she's come back in the higher position now, and she's fantastic at her job. Hats off to Maeve because she's brilliant. But there's loads of electrical supervisors, architects as women, engineers as women, and they're bloody good at their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't say you're not no good at your job.
No, it's something we scaffolding especially, we've been very slow accepting women, and we need to do more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely, 100%. But it change as we go on. There's thousands of women in scaffolding, so let's bring more in and produce it. Look at NASC; they're bringing more women into NASC as well.
So, what does the future for Browne's Garoost and Browne's Scaffolding look like to you? Where do you want to be? What's your aims?
Let's start with the aims of the company of Garoost and Bell. The aims there. In actual fact, we want to grow as a company in Europe, but now we're a lot of members of the craft and we're meistership and stuff like that. We're going to grow the company, but what we're going to do, our partnership with Leia in Germany, we want to start a training school. And the training school should be in about a year and a half coming to fruition, because it's going to take that amount of time to do it, especially with the German laws and stuff like that. It could take 2 years, but that is the end game, to have a training school and a scaffolding company in Germany that stretches from throughout Europe, as we've already got jobs booked in and doing. And then we're going to create scaffolders and run apprenticeship schemes there with the craft and with the Meister. So there is a bigger aim. The company will grow in size. We'll move yards so we can have the training facility at our yard as well, and train German people into doing it as well, which Carolyn from Leia has given her blessing. So don't just want to earn money. It's not all about the money. It's about training, and it's about lifestyle. We have a good living anyway, you know what I mean? So it's the fact of, why don't we give something back to the German people for letting me have a German company, because you're there. Obviously, I don't speak German, and you know that, Al. So it's why not give something back? You're trying to do it. It's going to build a future in there of that country. So let's work with them and train and train and train. But it's going to take a while to set up. The company will grow alongside, because that's going to have to fund it. But the German government will fund a lot of the courses as well through their university status, which will give them the degree, because we end up training as Meisters as well with the degree facility there as well, because you'll end up doing 2 years in college and for German university. So that's the end game, and just carry on working. It's a nice thing to do. I didn't get no help, so why don't we help other people?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Browne's Scaffolding, that'll just carry on as we are. We'll probably grow in size by about 30%, I reckon, over the next couple of years. But with helping on sitting on different training boards and things like that, that's where I want to go down the path of helping people learn and change the apprenticeship scheme and work with the NASC to bring that to fruition again, because that's another legacy. And not many people want legacies, they just want to earn the money. We're both sitting in little offices in wherever, and we're helping people. You do the podcast, you go out and do your training and stuff like that. And if we can build that relationship with people and get these courses going, it's going to be a great industry again. That's why you started the podcast, to create that industry again, because it's been left behind again. So we need to do that by training, and giving something back. Same as AK with the prisoners and stuff like that. Like we said earlier, he's doing an incredible job to get them into the scaffolding industry and give them a chance. NASC want to do it, but stumbling at the block a little bit because we need to get the systems involved in the apprenticeship courses. I will take any meeting anywhere with CITB and NASC, and I even chair that meeting to put my point of view across how to change the apprenticeship courses. It's got to be done. The companies can't afford the courses, so let's change the apprenticeship where we can do it and get the government funded to give the kids a trade in the scaffolding industry. That's going to be my future. We have a good life. We say to ourselves, Al has a beer, I have a rosé, and we have a laugh, and we always talk about this stuff. But in the background, like you, me, we're always thinking about the younger people and moving forward in the industry. So all these bigger companies and all, say, a company my size, let's back Joe from Stella and get him out there marketing there. Let's make him he wants to be a NASC member. Let's make him the marketing guru of the NASC. Why not? Yep. He's bloody brilliant at it, and he's getting the younger kids involved. So let's proceed with that and change the industry. That's my future. Yeah. And I think you agree with that as well.
I'd love to see it evolve. I'd love to see it move on. I think we've always done it this way, never works. I think if you don't adapt and evolve, you get left behind. We are running out of time if we're not careful as an industry, worldwide, let alone the UK. I think the UK is definitely getting left behind with some of the ideas that are going on elsewhere. And giving back, definitely, there's mental health issues I'm involved in. There's the prostate cancer things and things like that through Movember I'm working on. You know, the man is, I love Scaff Champ. Yeah. I love what it does. I love the fact I get to meet people. I go to the American Championships with the SAIA. We're looking at Peru for next year now because they've got a championship. You know, in my head, where's the British Championship?
Yeah, where's the British Championship and where's the black of the NASC? Yeah,
well, I have a business plan. I have a venue. Yeah. And I have an amazing event ready to go. But it's
why not bring it into it? You can still. I done the 2000 Olympics for scaffold championships in Walthamstow with Frost organised. So why don't we bring it back to England? It was it's a laugh. I got a silver and a bronze.
At ANC Scaffolding Products, we are dedicated to raising the standard in scaffolding solutions across the UK. With decades of industry experience, we supply fully certified scaffolding systems and components, tailored to meet the needs of every project, large or small. We sell scaffolding. We offer the best quality and amazing prices. Trust ANC for expert advice, reliable service, and products that keep you safe and on schedule. As proud NASC members, safety and quality are at the heart of everything we do. Credit available. Look us up on the web or call today.
To the one who knows how. Desire alone is not enough.
What's up, Doc?
He survived the surgery. It's going to be touch and go.
What's up, Doc?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here? DEFCON 1.
Yeah, you loved your SCAF game. I mean, you couldn't do the SCAF games quite like you were in because health and safety, etc.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
But I mean, so my vision would be, it would be like all of the others with someone like Leia, and it would be a system sculpture design. But alongside that, I'd have a British Tube and Fitting Championship for a 13-foot tower, 3 lifts or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It wouldn't be all the lifting stuff and things like that because that's not right nowadays. But to build a tower, they learn it in their apprenticeship.
Yeah.
The kids along, see who's the best apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't know how they judge at NASC the best apprentice of the year. What's he turn up every day? But you know what I mean?
Doesn't do Monday Club.
You know, or he gets voted from his workers or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I'd like to get involved in that. So obviously, I said earlier, I've put in to be the chair or vice chair of the South East. So I'd like to do that because hopefully I can make a change and bring some topics to the actual front of the talks, not behind. So bring the scaffold games in. That'd be brilliant. And NASC should be at the forefront of that. NASC don't go to the scaffold games, do they, Alan?
No,
Well,
not yet.
You AK represent the country, yeah? Right? So why don't we put an NASC branding everywhere? And because they're going out in the Philippines and things like this, all right, for workers to work in this country, but why don't we promote the scaffolding industry from England by entering more teams and stuff like that and bringing it to the forefront of NASC, not just the little bit.
I'd love to see a World Series of scaffolding games around the world, promoting scaffolding globally. I'd like to see a Home Nations Championship, maybe, like I said, Tube and Fit. What I do think it does, I mean, like, I'm an idiot. I went on TikTok unannounced. I live streamed the American Championships with AK. I got 10,000 views.
Yeah.
10,000 live viewers.
Yeah.
This is a way to promote the industry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but let's go to the Winter Olympics just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got how many golds was it now? 5 in there, and a couple of bronzes. So that's with training and promoting the sports. Yeah. So if we can promote sports, they still don't get enough money, but for their training and stuff from the government and the sports council, but they're doing it, and we're creating champions. So why can't we do that in this industry? Because it's a bit sad, really. I know NASC is a business, but we should help and promote scaffolding with it, because then that builds a network around the world. And
I mean,
there's a
the idea that NASC's a business, I get to a certain point. Obviously, I'm a member of NASC, you're a member of NASC. I didn't join it thinking this is a business. I joined it thinking this is a trade body. So for me, we should promote the trade.
I joined it because when I was a kid and I was working in London, I was kids say 30, yeah. And every NASC company was proud to be NASC.
Yeah.
And there was a difference. And I always wanted NASC. And it was so hard to get. I think when I joined NASC, I had to put everyone PAYE, which cost me in the region of 150,000, 200,000 in the first year because of holiday pay. Now we can just go and join and do the accreditation, the drawings of the yard and that. You know what I mean? But I've still got PAYE employees. I earn less money by keeping them PAYE. Not everyone wants to be PAYE. Well, I have subcontractors as well. But that was the stage where there was only certain members and we was all proud to be NASC and stuff like that. So I'm still a proud member of NASC, but stuff needs to change, but it needs to be talked through with the members. That's why I put in to be the chair. I want to listen to their voice more than the actual managers of the NASC, and then make a decision internally. There's a difference.
Yeah. We pay fees to be members, so we do have a right to a voice. And I do think if we all move in the same direction, you're not going to agree with everything.
No, that's but that's
you need to have discussion.
That's a debate. So you have to have debate in your life, but some people don't like debates because they don't like to hear the truth. But it's fact. If you're in a meeting, you're in a boardroom, and you are talking about a job, you would have a debate on what bits are chargeable and what bits are not chargeable against the lovely QSs and for the lovely QSs. But that's how businesses are run. But we need to promote within and have a debate more. So that's why I want to be the chair or vice chair of NASC, because to create the questions that no one's answering.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
That's partly why I want to do things like this podcast, is to get the word of people in the industry out in the open, because, like, we all have a voice and we've all got ideas. Like we said, Joe, he's come at it with off-centre, completely different ideas about marketing, and it works.
Yeah.
We can learn from that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's handy that he's good looking. I'm not that way, but it's but you know what I mean. It's good for him because it works, and his blokes must look up to him for doing it, because he's done. I know he's not a scaffolder, but he's just a labourer or whatever he is. But he's a manager, and he must be good at managing for his blokes to aspire to want to be like him.
Yeah,
which is fantastic. And his yard, it's incredible. But
it's ongoing.
You know what I mean? It's ongoing. And it costs a fortune to do anything like that. But good luck to him. If he does it, he does it. And he finishes it, and he creates a company to be proud of. But, yeah, it'll be good, you know what I mean? But the marketing of himself and the company is brilliant. Yeah. And he's doing it the right way. And we just need to unite, really, with people like that and NASC and work together.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's like Spud and Rass up in Manchester with the Carry a Knife, Ruin a Life campaign. I want it to go further. Me, I think it's genius. If every scaffold firm in NASC just put the barcode and that on every symbol across the country, you might save 5 lives, you might save 10. Yeah. If you've saved 10 people and brought them into the industry and they drop that knife, that's such a positive. Yeah, there's so many things we can do.
Last year, the 2 kids went out to get a bit of pizza and they got chopped up with machetes.
Yeah.
If you can stop something like that happening without the kids running around and going to the drug dealers and doing this and doing the bad stuff, you've made a difference in life. That's the difference.
Oh, and there are amazing things being done by scaffold firms across the country. Again, defibrillators, RAS are doing that. Then there's community schemes certain companies are running, giving back. If we all started doing that as NASC members, you're going to get people into the industry. You're going to raise the interest in scaffolding. And that filters down to, if you're a member of the Scaffold Association, you might try and adopt some of it or want to. Even the firms that aren't in either. The little transit man starting out, like if the CITB or whatever the government is helping him train people, and he then says, do you know what? That prison initiative, I'll take that grant. I'll take one person, change their life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you have to. But it's exactly the same as the armed forces. We don't really get any connection with that because I don't think it's pushed out enough. And the armed forces, when they come out of there, especially back in Iraq days and things like that, they weren't helped. That's 100%. There was homeless everywhere. But now they're out of the army and they still need work. But I don't know. There's Help the Heroes. What is it? What's the company in South East that does it? I can't remember the name of the company, but they do it. But there was an armed forces thing with NASC, wasn't there?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah, Henry was doing it, and I think it's dropped off. But because obviously, when you demob, you get a grant for X amount of training, and you demob over, say, a year, 18 months, and you go and do courses.
Yeah.
what you've got, a certain amount of people obviously go and do SMSTS, seats, etc., become site agents. Well, those skills of being organised and communicate, the skills they've learned and the physical fitness,
Yeah, that's right. It's brilliant.
they're perfect for scaffolding.
Yeah. So we need more of that happening. There's loads of stuff what needs to be put into place and learned. So I think learning is the biggest thing for the companies as well, because they say there's a skill shortage. Like going back to Stella, he said he's got people queuing out the door, but that's because of his image of the company. So, which is fantastic. So we're highlighting this in talking about everything to do with scaffolding and the training and stuff like that. And then you've got people in the background doing that. You got, that Kaz does social events everywhere, sponsors different things and stuff like that. Fantastic. You've got Knife Guide being highlighted. But you got AK doing all the other stuff with prison wardens and stuff like that. But I think it's the central body, the National Association of Scaffolders, need to highlight more and bring it out into the open more. And then the government has to listen. So there's loads of things to be brought together, and then it will create an industry that everyone's proud of again. Because there's thousands of people proud of being a scaffolder. We used to have a laugh in the pubs in Bermondsey and stuff like that. You know what it's like. We all meet up, chat about the biggest scaffold of the day and what we lifted. But there ain't really that these days. Not even in just having a coffee, there ain't really that banter. You know what I mean?
No, I was talking about this the other day with Jason Gibbs, and it's that you walk into a canteen and they're all like that on their phones.
Yeah.
And you had the odd person doing the crossword, you had the odd person reading the paper, but as he read the paper, he's like, "Have you seen this?" And the conversation started. Or it was, "What are we doing today?" People spoke, communicated, and the world's greatest trade was, and still is, a great fraternity.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we need to get that more.
Yeah, I've had some great mates through the years, you know what I mean? Fantastic mates. But then I've had some different things happen to me, like COVID. Just survived COVID, kept the business. And then the blokes that I had working for me went, "We need a paper." I've just paid you all the way through COVID. I haven't gave you a different work. And then they went, some of them went, "Oh, can we have the 20% back?" And I'm like, "Well, I can't afford to. I was nearly bankrupt." You know what I mean? And then they left. Yeah. But I looked after them all through COVID and the previous years. But you get through them. It's not the team that there was. You know what I mean?
No, it's rare for a scaffolder to stay working for a company for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I've got two that are, one's 16 and a half years and one's 16 years. And they've got my back, you know what I mean? So I trust them with whatever. But usually it's about 5 years, 6 years, you know what I mean? And then they go on and move on. But I've had my apprentices leave, then come back. Because they realise that we haven't learnt enough or whatever. Let's come back to you, learn more. Or you get the ones just take the courses and go. But the ones that want to improve their lives stay on the firms. And they don't swap around so much, you know what I mean? But it's and the wages are increasing as well, so which is good. A lot of people don't pay travel time. I pay travel time. They get paid every Thursday. They get overtime. They don't have to work weekends. Why do we want to work weekends all the time? We don't do it. We want to be with our families and stuff like that. We want to take the dog for a walk out.
Well, I'm at an age where I don't want to work weekends full stop, but
yeah. It's the industry's changed, so the people want social lives. They don't all want to work at weekends. If you can earn more money in the week, it'd be better, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why we changed the pay scales, because they can earn more money that way. And it's not. It's because you don't get phone calls, do you?
No, but you also want a social life. You need to see your family. Yeah. You know, have a life outside of scaffolding, but scaffolding can give you that life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right, because you can earn enough money to do it. And that gives the kids a career. Like, we had an apprentice come back about 2 months ago, and he's learnt different stuff now, so he's earning more money, but he wanted to come back here because he knew it was PAYE, because that gives him a mortgage.
Yeah.
There's a difference. So that's what NASC used to do. Everyone wants to be self-employed now, because of when COVID happened. All the self-employed got grants and money, and it all went that way, didn't it? You know, like PAYE, you got paid 80% every week.
Yeah.
Without that. That's the difference, isn't it? But some
Yeah,
of that we worked, so it was different. But it's but yeah, there's loads to do to the industry, so hence applying for being chair.
Well, good luck with it. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I think we need more voices in the industry putting their heads above the parapet and speaking. Yeah,
because people don't. They just stay shut up. There's only a few people. You look on LinkedIn. There's only a few people actually say stuff. You know what I mean? It's always the same people, isn't it? You know what I mean? Yeah. And if someone comments on there the wrong comment, they will get the ump. But it's only chat. Learns how to talk to people again. That's the difference. It's like a mental health chat.
Yeah.
It's a phone call away. It's exactly the same. So if someone needs help in business, it's a phone call away.
The time sponsored by Accurate will be
Power flows to the one who knows how.
on one.
Just on one.